What's up, fam? It's Triple Beam Radio, man. In the house with me, I have my boy Los Baby. What's happening, Los?
Man. What up, what up? It's your boy Los Baby, aka Exceptional Jones to the slab.
All right, man. It's the one and only Bodine, the president, man. And we back like we never left. Y'all know what we do. We're gonna sit here, we're gonna pop shit, we're gonna talk shit, swallow spit, man, like we always do. Los, man, what's been going on with you, man? It's been a minute since you've been in the studio, man.
Man, it's been rough.
Really?
It's been rough. It's been a rough couple of weeks, been a rough couple of months, man. But I don't know that it's been a whole lot rougher for me than it was for that boy Errol Spence Jr. the other night,
Ooh.
man. That thing, goodness gracious alive.
Since you brought that up.
Did y'all see this? man.
Great, goodness gracious, great sakes alive, man. Let me ask you this, man, because right off the rip, we're gonna put it out there. I was leaning towards Spence. No, I'm not going to say that. I was pulling for Spence during this fight. What about you? You a Bud fan, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I was Bud all the way.
Did you? Let me ask you this here. What was your predictions before the fight?
I took
Decision?
Bud by a slim margin.
So you maybe possibly split decision?
I absolutely split decision. I expected it to be a monstrous dog fight, entertainment for the ages. Both of them boys got granite chins. Both of them some dogs in the ring, and both of them were scrappy. I figured they would go backwards and forwards. I think Bud was great at making adjustments, so I gave him the edge overall. I figured he'd be stronger in the later rounds.
Yeah.
I did not see coming.
That was going to be my next question. I was going for Spence. I figured it would go to the cards as well. I wasn't one of them cats who thought it was going to be a stoppage. I didn't say that Spence was going to knock him out, TKO him or anything. And again, that same thing you said. You didn't predict Bud would get a stoppage.
No way I thought Bud would get a stoppage. I thought the cats that was saying Spence was going to get a stoppage was fly-by-nighters that don't really watch boxing.
Right.
Because ain't no bunch of people finna just be stopping Bud. But, people were saying that I felt like Spence had the media machine on his side. But man, ain't no way. Bud didn't know Bud was finna do that.
That's what I was finna say. Nobody predicted.
Crazy.
No one predicted this.
Yeah.
Even if you had one of them with a stoppage, that doesn't mean it could still. It wasn't going to be a good fight.
It still should have been a really good fight.
Right.
And somebody just catch somebody, right?
Right. Or
But
somebody pull away later on.
Man, this was a beating.
This was one of the most one-sided championship bouts.
Man.
I mean, you could go back to some of maybe the Tyson Spinks or something like that, right?
But that's
heavyweights, and that's
stuff,
what we yeah.
That's knockout stuff, right? These guys, everybody got a puncher's chance in there, right?
Right.
So to me, and I'll go back to when Tarver knocked out Jones.
Right, he caught him. He caught him.
He caught him.
Yeah. Nothing taking nothing away, but you caught him.
That first fight was a dog fight. Though.
Right.
I was expecting much the same, and it just, if one of them guys would have caught the other and knocked him out, okay, well, that happens, right?
Yeah, that's the game.
But man, that shit was way too one-sided, bro. Man.
Yeah, it was an annihilation.
Demolished it, bro.
It was an annihilation.
Man, I hate, and it's just like, I'm not a huge Spence fan, even though I'm a Texas boy,
right.
But man, I don't want to see no world champion lose in that manner. This guy's a world champion, man.
Right, no doubt.
And
world-class fighter, man. An elite. He was an elite level fighter. Still is. I can't take that away from him after one loss.
Watching the replay tonight, I don't know about that.
Yeah, we just watched that replay, fellas.
I don't know about him still being elite, man. Watching that replay,
you just don't think this cat just might have his number?
That don't look like. That's what I wanted to say, because I said from jump that Spence was a bull and pressure fighter.
Tailor-made for Bud style.
Yeah, because Bud perfected the art of taking on that pressure and countering the hell out of it.
If you put the way Spence fought Bud and subtract Bud out the equation and put somebody else, would Spence beat up somebody else?
The way he looked tonight.
But yeah, Spence.
I don't think so.
Where he's washed up.
Yeah.
Something.
His punches didn't have the same pop. They didn't. Because it don't matter the counters. He caught him with some shots.
Yeah.
They just weren't effective.
Yeah.
And it's like, Bud's strong, but he ain't that strong. You know what I mean? He was doing a lot of lunging, man. He was ducking his head a lot early. before he took the really good shots, he was still kind of ducking his head. I don't know. It just didn't. The guy that I saw
This last
against
fight.
Bud wasn't the same guy that I saw against Danny Garcia.
Wasn't the same cat against
You know,
Porter.
So I just think something's missing there, and
this is my first
that ain't
time.
me trying to take nothing from Bud.
Right.
That's just me feeling like Spence saying I don't think he's the same guy. And maybe I was just wrong about how competitive the fight should have been. Maybe Bud really just got his number like that.
Because that can happen.
And just did him in, right? Because that could happen.
I mean,
I don't
example,
know. That shit. Man.
Wilder Fury. Wilder knocks out how many? 98% of the heavyweights out there.
Well, he knocked Fury out in the first fight too.
That was a long count,
That gave
right?
him, that was a long count.
But the next two fights,
Yeah.
it seems like Fury, with his size and his style, just has Wilder's number.
But in truth, Wilder had been outboxed before.
Even the fight when he's supposed to the first fight.
I mean, before Fury.
Okay.
He had been outboxed.
What was the cat name? The Latino cat. He ended up catching him. He was actually giving Wilder work, and then Wilder ended up catching him. You know what I'm talking about, right?
I can't think of the name. Brown skinned dude.
Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know you're talking
He was
about.
giving Wilder work.
Wilder's been outboxed before.
Yeah.
That knockout power would.
That's the great equalizer.
That, right?
Yeah, that's the great equalizer.
And he wasn't able to knock Fury out.
Right.
And that because Fury was outboxing the shit out of him. Don't get me wrong.
Right. I mean, dude, that first fight, if you take, and again, you can't.
Take the knockdowns away.
Fury wins that fight on.
He wins it running away.
Right.
You know, so.
But it was a draw because of the knockouts. And I'm saying you take the knockouts away, but you can't take the knockouts away. I'm saying hypothetically.
Yeah.
I mean, the knockdowns.
But it's absolutely possible. I mean, because, look at it, man. Think about this. You go way back, right? And Joe Frazier gave Muhammad Ali the absolute blues.
Style.
Gave him the blues, bro.
Yeah, because his style.
Man, George Foreman damn near killed Joe Frazier.
Yeah.
And then Muhammad Ali beats the brakes off Foreman.
So
because he could take the pressure.
I'm going to give you another one even crazier, though.
Shit.
Kenny Norton. And when you go back, and I hope I don't get crucified for saying this, but when you go back and watch all three fights,
he beat him.
It's an argument that Ken Norton won all three of those fights. George Foreman annihilated Norton as well when they fought. You get what I'm saying? So, yeah.
So it's like the possibility exists that Spence was just a perfect opponent.
But
for Bud.
I go back and say it again. The way we just seen the replay, the way he was moving, the way he was swinging, the way he was just in the ring, how he looked. Take away Bud, you put somebody else, let's say you put
that Spence don't win. I don't think that Spence
does not win.
Yeah. He don't look the same as he did too.
And this is my first time saying this publicly.
He don't.
Because I don't want to take nothing from Bud because whatever was going on with Spence isn't
Bud
Bud's fault.
Bud was
and that's what all of my
that's none of that's Bud's
up with
fault.
This other stuff because I don't want to make it seem like I'm trying to say, well, if Spence would have been himself.
No, it may have been
winning that fight.
Regardless, we said it would have been a better fight.
But I definitely didn't have him running away.
Right.
I think he ran away because something's missing from Errol Spence.
It seems, something seems
I don't think it's
different.
Something he'll ever be able to get back.
Something seemed different about Spence. Just even prior to the fight, just the interviews, his speech, something seemed off, right? Again,
and I didn't notice that, right? I didn't notice. I don't get into a lot of the hype talk before the fight. I feel like a lot of that's theater.
It is.
And it's to sell the thing.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So I kind of, it's like, look, I'm going to watch the fight. I don't need to see all this people talking all at each other. Pushing each other at the weigh-in, all that silly shit they be doing, right? But
yeah, JK, that's a great question. Yeah. I think that Spence doesn't beat very many people.
Take Bud Crawford out of there. Put anybody else in there.
I don't know if that's
still going to have trouble.
I don't think that specific Spence beats many people.
Yeah. It ain't going to be the 28-0 that he was, not with that guy.
So. Not that specific Spence. And like I say, I didn't want to say that publicly. It was my first time because I don't want to take nothing away from Bud, man. Because like me and Los were saying, and all of us said earlier, even Spence, prime Spence on his A game, no flaws, it's still a 50-50 fight, right? So that's
Right.
still not to say that Bud wouldn't still
And
win.
it's still tailor made for Bud's
Right.
style of fight.
But what we
you know.
saying is we think that was a way more competitive fight.
Oh, absolutely.
You get what I'm saying? But this wasn't even. I mean, when you go to the official scorecards, they gave Spence the first round, and we can agree they gave him.
Yeah, they gave it because he did not win the first round.
Right. That's an argument where that
Right.
could have been, and I don't know if you could even call a draw on a round. I don't know
That's
how
what,
that.
that's what I was thinking.
I'm not
too,
sure,
like,
but
I
Spence.
give the round to Bud because he hit Spence with one good counter left
Yeah.
hand.
But
And
Spence
Spence tapped him a
looked like he was
couple
more
times.
active that
Yeah.
first
He may have
round.
been, and also
Yeah, he
Spence was.
more active.
You know how they go. He was the bigger name.
And a bigger
He had
name.
3 belts. Usually, in them kind of fights, man.
The
usually-
medium machine. I
Yeah,
thought.
anything close
Yeah.
usually gonna go to the champ.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So, but you got a legit argument to say that Bud won that first round as well, man.
My problem is, and I said this earlier, and I guess my problem and my question are the same. Does his team see what we see? And what do they do
How
about
can
it?
they not?
And
Because I'm a layman, right? Some lay person can see that something's off about your guy, and you can't. It's
I'm gonna
hard for
bring
me
it
to
to you,
believe.
like I said before. What if his team does see it,
It's a money grab.
but that dude provides for everyone in his corner?
He does.
Man,
He does. And I pray, Errol, if you ever see this, bro, it is, I love you. I was rocking with you, but I pray that you outsmarted all of us, and this was a money grab,
Mhm.
and you out.
And you out. Yep.
Because this, what you probably making on this is generational wealth, what you just gonna be able to pass on, bro. I'm not counting pockets, but what you were worth already on top of this here, you don't ever have to lace up again. You get what I'm saying? So maybe this was
no,
the
no,
money.
definitely not. Because from my
Yeah.
understanding, I mean,
Yeah.
between the gate and the pay-per-view,
Yeah.
he's supposed
This
to be pulling down 30, 40 million.
You know what I'm thinking? This was one of those, because if you get down in the background and you get to the history, lots of promoters lose money on even some of the biggest fights. I think this is one of them fights where their promoter made his money.
Mhm.
Oh, hell yeah.
You get what I'm saying, bro? I believe this is one of them fights where this promoter made his money. So, man, he might have just went on ahead and made that sacrifice and say, you know what, man, this it, I'm out.
But I'm going to tell you,
I hope.
if that's the case, he could have laid it down. That cat fought with a bunch of heart, man.
Hey, bro,
I mean, he was taking some punishment.
he went out
kept
on his
coming, bro.
shield, huh?
He fought with a bunch of heart, but you gotta take your hat off to Bud for taking him that long.
Yeah.
Bud carried
You
him.
could have took him.
It
You coulda
looked
took him
at
out
us,
the
though.
game.
Bud
It
carried
looked
him.
at us, though. And I mean, I don't,
We just watched it again, man.
Bud may say something different,
Bud
but it
carried him.
looked at us, though. He could have got him out of there.
Quicker. He could
You
have.
know,
Yeah.
Because like I said, around round 5, I felt like, man,
Let me ask you a
he
question.
letting him make it here.
Let me ask you a question.
He had some open shots on him that he didn't take.
Yeah, I'm finna say,
You know.
with us saying this here, let me ask you a question. Spence was hurt several times. When did Bud open up and let them tens
He
go?
did. He did.
Even when he had him on
You
the
know.
on
he
the
did.
like backing up against the ropes,
Yeah.
or he
Yeah.
was the aggressor. He didn't really take.
He
off.
never opened up. He never let go. That right there tells you, man, he was carrying this cat, man.
And that's saying something about the level of respect he got for
That's
it.
why I just finna say
Right.
that as well, man.
Really does.
Yes,
'Cause
and
it's
you-
like he may have at some point during that fight been able to recognize, wait a minute.
I might
Like,
hurt this
really
cat.
got
I
the
could
ups
kill
on
this cat.
dude. Yeah, like I really got the ups on this guy.
Yeah.
Let me, and he lowered his gear a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, and he may have done that unconsciously, right? Because I don't want to put that in the air like that's what fighters do.
No.
'Cause
It might.
I ain't no boxer, man.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know that. You know, that would seem a difficult thing. I know I done had some street fights where, you know, I
plays
get
with a
the
cat.
best of a dude and I kind of let it ride from, you know, because I know I got him, right? But I wasn't fighting for no millions of dollars neither. It was, you know.
And then, it may have been
shit.
contractual. We don't know all the black and white here, right? It may have been like, in order for a rematch, it has to go past a certain amount of rounds. I don't know. I'm just throwing hypotheticals.
Is that a
out.
thing?
I don't know. Well, let me tell you about.
I think they if they make a contract.
That's what I'm about to say. A contract could be anything we
Kinda put
negotiate.
whatever they want in
Yeah,
there, right?
anything
Okay.
y'all agree on, that's a
Yeah.
contract. Anything you agree on,
I'm curious to see what that thing say.
right?
Yeah, I'd be
Yeah.
curious to see what that thing
Like, cause I'm if I'm a fighter, I'm like, okay, like you say, first, second round knockout. That means I caught you. You know, we can run that back.
You run it back.
Okay,
Yeah.
stoppage, third or fourth round. ain't no need running that back.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? If I'm just pummeling you like that, and all of a sudden the ref needs to step in third or fourth round to stop it,
Right.
there's no need to run that back.
Yeah, I ain't running. I got no business running back no route. That was a route.
Right. Rematches usually, in my eyes, rematches are great for upsets and close fights. Right?
Yeah, wasn't nothing close about this.
Yeah.
That was a route.
And it wasn't upset either because Bud was the favorite.
Now, what about, because there was a whole lot of talk about Spence moving up to 154
Right.
after this, no matter what, right?
Yeah, he said this was his last one at 147. He should have been moved up, honestly.
This is probably a bad idea.
Well, he's going to fight bigger and stronger people now, right?
Yeah, man, it's probably a bad idea.
But you know, some of the
I
boxers,
also believe it's a bad idea for Bud to move up.
some of the
He's
analysts,
perfect where he is.
some of the analysts said he needs to go up because of the weight drain and the constant that's taking a toll on his body. I was telling you earlier how now Sean Porter on one of his podcasts, I think it's called The Porter Way. Y'all go check that out. Sean, you give us a shot back when you see this, okay? But Porter was saying that because Spence has been at this one weight class his entire career, it's been maybe 10 years now, maybe pretty close.
About that.
He think he's stagnated the his natural growth and progression that his body's supposed to be doing. You
But
know what
that
I'm saying?
wouldn't stop him from getting stronger, right? Just bigger.
Yeah.
Or maybe it would.
I don't know how that
and
goes
again,
either.
yeah, because it's like, you talking about a guy who's been in the fight game 13,
Yeah,
14
he
years.
said that's a possibility.
Stuff he gonna know.
He
I
said he's
don't
almost
know.
like
So-
shrank his body. Like
In order to get stronger, you gotta get bigger.
and see, look what Bud has done. It's been a natural progression because Bud started off at like 130, 135. And just through the years, he's gone up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's allowing his body to mature because that's what father time gonna do to you, dude. Ain't none of us the same
Ain't
as
no
20
way
years
around
ago.
that. Yeah.
You know what I'm
saying? Ain't no way around it.
Right.
But it's, I don't know. I think sometimes them fighters will get caught up in that fan hype.
Yeah, no doubt.
And,
No doubt.
man, you jump up there, man, you fooling with these guys that's walking around 20, 25 pounds heavier than you. Man, that's some big gloves, man. And you know what I mean? And that's dangerous to me. Amir Khan is a prime example.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no damn way Amir Khan was supposed to go fight Canelo Alvarez, man. No
What
way.
did he end up
bro.
meeting him at? 154, 160?
Yeah, and you can't convince me. Man, Amir Khan had bricks in his shorts. Trying to weigh 155 pounds, man. No way, bro. And he ain't been the same since.
He's very chinny.
He
Very
ain't
chinny,
been the
man.
same
He
since.
just
Kell Brook,
very chinny.
same thing.
Didn't he try to go fight Triple G?
Monster, man.
Didn't he fight Triple G?
Yeah, and he busted him up, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he hung in for a second, but he busted him up bad.
Yeah.
And he ain't been the same.
Yeah.
And it's just like, man, you a little guy.
Yeah. Because
You
Amir,
going
man,
up here, man, these dudes big.
and
bro. You
again, he's professional. He probably kicked my ass, right? But Amir's chin was always in question.
Always.
there's that, right?
And then you going to go up and fight a knockout artist? Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that wasn't, and I mean, so it's just like, and don't get me wrong, okay, Bud's beat Spence. Now everybody's automatically, they immediately want the next thing, right? Oh, this is what he got to do, and now he's scared of this guy now, and it's like, come on, wait a second. Wait 1
Man,
minute.
he ain't even finished partying
Number
from
one,
this
let the
celebration.
guys savor this victory. Let him
they still
feel
partying
good
from
about
this
this
one. You know
one,
what I mean? Let this one sink in.
and it's like, how did he all of a sudden, so what, he became afraid of Boots Ennis in an hour? It's like, come on, man, and y'all really, listen,
Look
I
here,
like Boots Ennis, but
At this point,
but people might want to slow down with that.
he's beating Spence, right? You undisputed. At this point, Bud, it has to make sense financially. You're not fighting for legacy no more. Because you know why? Because you was undisputed at 140. You was undisputed at 147. The only person in the history of the sport.
Only one.
And I ain't
You don't have to fight for legacy no
feel
more.
like I'm trying to tell that man how to do his business.
Nah,
but,
yeah.
man, go enjoy
You ain't got to
your
fight for
money.
legacy no more. You fight.
Go enjoy these belts
it
you
is-
got,
it
man.
If you got any more fights in you, pad your pockets, bro,
Yeah.
and get up out of there.
It is good for a sport that's what some people say is dying.
But they've been saying that for 15
The
years.
way that Hitman Hearns and will fight the big names, the Rand,
Yeah.
all them guys that was legends fighting legends.
And
that was what this fight was.
That's exactly what it was. This was the biggest fight.
No
This was the
doubt.
biggest welterweight fight in the
No
past
doubt.
20, 25 years.
Yeah.
But this is my problem,
It
right?
was.
This is the problem that I'm having. Because Up until about a year ago, Boots Ennis wasn't a big name. You see what I mean?
It don't make sense financially to fight.
He wasn't a big name.
It don't.
I could see them saying, hey, you need to move up and fight one of the Charlos, right?
Yeah.
You know, you move up one. But when people start immediately
Mm-hmm.
saying, yeah, Bud, you know, whatever, he got through Spence, but he don't want to see Ennis. And it's like, listen, I get it. We hype, you want to see boxing, you want to see good fights, and all, but this dude could have knocked out the devil, and y'all would say he was scared to fight God. Like it don't make, you know,
Right,
like come on,
right.
man, these guys are professional fighters, man, but you got to let the man rest for a second.
Yeah.
You know, he just came off an emphatic victory against a guy that y'all swore he wasn't going to beat. Because the same people saying that was the same people saying Spence was finna knock him out.
Yeah.
And then he put in this clean work, and now he's scared of some other guy.
Yeah, man, that was clean work too.
Like, come on, man. Clean.
Clean work, man.
Clean, bro. But, you know, why are we talking about clean work?
Clean.
Have y'all, what is wrong with Clarissa Shields, man?
She called out Thurman. Hey man, it's
Man, somebody got to
media hype. Media
stop
hype.
this shit, man.
Yeah, media hype.
Somebody got to step out there and tell these people the truth sometime, man. Man, stop it. And man gonna hurt you, man.
Yeah.
You get out there and
you
that
look at-
man hit you for real.
'Cause
Man,
in
this
his-
guy's gonna hurt you.
In his prime, and he's been out of the ring forever, but in his prime, he was an elite. He was an elite.
They
level.
called him one time for a
He
reason,
was an
bro.
elite level fighter, man.
Even if he wasn't, he a whole man.
Yeah,
That's a whole damn dude out here.
yeah.
You can be as good a boxer as you want to be,
You ain't good as him.
but this dude finna knock the fire out of you, man. He a man.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, come on, man. But you know, they was doing that when Ronda Rousey won them 3-4 lip
Trying to say she could beat Mayweather.
And
Remember
she
that?
riding talking about what she gonna do to Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, come on with all. And people was really rocking.
Oh,
with that
I had an
bullshit,
argument with an
dog.
argument or two with some people about that.
You know,
They was all females.
man, I seen some dudes.
Not
with
me.
that
It was a
shit
dude,
too,
couple
bro.
dudes, man.
And I'm looking at
Cat or
them
two I
like,
worked with.
man, I'm gonna need y'all to really, you know.
Yeah. And I think that was
And
more than
everybody
this game
new
before.
man's put them things on them.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
And the chick before her too.
And she slid
The Kelly
off
chick.
into oblivion.
The Kelly,
Going
remember
through movies.
Kelly Helm?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holly.
Holly Helm.
Yeah,
Holly
Holly
Helm.
Holm or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, man, come on, this is a grown ass man.
Yeah.
You
So-
talking about?
Clarissa Shields want to fight.
She called
That's
out
what
one
this
time.
chick telling people out
I'm
loud
gonna tell you
that
something.
she
I'm
thinks
tell you something.
she'll whip
I'm tell you
Keith
something.
Thurman.
For her to do that to one time, but nobody else.
It's something else.
She-
It's something
hey,
else.
she
With-
sees
with
something.
one time.
She
What's
sees
up?
She sees something.
She sees something.
She sees something.
Yeah.
Man, look.
One time say he will fight her with one hand, and she is allowed to wear headgear.
No, he said she needs to wear it. She needs to wear
He said he'll
it.
fight her with one hand, and she'll
And my mind told me maybe the guy had like a domestic violence charge or something. That's what prompted her to say. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where the Ronda Rousey thing with Mayweather
with Floyd.
came from.
Yeah,
He
because she
had
said you want to
domestic
whip
violence.
beat on women.
Right.
Do that to me.
And
Yeah.
somebody was asking her about him or him about her, and what he said didn't appear, I guess, as flattering as she felt it should be. And that's the media hyping this stuff, right? But man, at some point, man, y'all gotta stop that. Because y'all gonna get somebody hurt with that bullshit, man. For real. This is a whole dude, man. This is a grown man who's bigger, stronger, naturally. And who's also a professional fighter.
Yeah, it's not
Man,
a bum
get
off
the
the
fuck
street.
outta here, man.
This is
Yeah.
a champion. This is an
And
ex-champion.
dude, I'm gonna tell you something. Vedas and Serena Williams, when they were young,
Yeah.
it was this whole deal. And the media, again, it's media stuff. They get these girls in an interview and they asking them, do they think they could beat a man? What they supposed to say, man? You keep asking them.
Right.
So they were, yeah, I think I can beat a man. They was in Paris, I believe it was. Man, they put them up against, and this guy was retired. And he was drinking the entire time.
You will both of them?
On the court, he was drinking, bro.
Oh, wow. Shout out to him.
Beat the brakes off of both of them
Right.
easily.
Yeah.
He wasn't close to the top when he was playing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
just there's a different level. They used to do the battle of the sexes,
Remember, there was Billie Jean King
right?
and
Martina Navratilova played Jimmy Connors.
yeah,
And truthfully, man, Martina Navratilova was a great tennis player.
Yeah, I
but
remember
Connors
that.
allowed that shit to stay close.
yeah.
Like, come on, man, it's a different level of the game here. You can't. Them two shouldn't even be compared. And if people want to know why they shouldn't be compared, all they got to do is look at the difference in the time between Katie Ledecky and second place. And Katie Ledecky only used to be a man.
Scared.
Like, for real, bro. Katie Ledecky only used to be a man.
Yeah.
This guy literally won the 1,500 meter freestyle by 10 plus seconds.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
You damn near lap these women in this pool.
That's retarded.
Hey man, look at
Because that used to be a whole man.
look
bro.
at the 100
None
meters.
of the hormones or anything. Biologically, this cat got more muscle mass. You're
Yeah.
stronger. You bigger than them.
Look at the 100 meter world records. Usain Bolt is what, a 9.58, and Flo Jones is a 10.49.
10.6. Close to
Talking about
like
like a
10.6
whole
or something.
second.
Yeah, man.
And when you talk
Yeah.
about a 100 meter sprint, a whole second got to be about 40, 30 meters, man.
It's 30 feet.
You get what I'm
It's
saying?
usually
A whole
about,
second.
yeah.
So
I
like
mean, that's a long ass
it's
race.
huge in a sprint. You get what I'm saying, bro? There's not no distance where 1 second is. You know, that I consider that bad, but in a
There's just-
sprint, it's huge.
There's a ridiculous amount of difference
Yeah.
between the strength and speed of men and the strength and speed of women.
Right.
Biologically. There just is.
Yeah, I mean, I think they got us
I don't
brainwashed.
profess to talk to people about what the design is and all of
Yeah,
that,
right.
but clearly there's a design
Yeah.
because dudes get stronger and faster and taller than women do.
Yeah.
They just do.
Yeah.
And stop it with this whole conversation about this chick could do what this dude could do. Because here's what I want people to understand. And when this old white man asked the question, everybody act like he was tripping. But for real, y'all want it to be okay for these women to claim possible competition with these men. But do you really think it would be okay for Joel Embiid to go play in the WNBA? That's a ridiculous premise, right? It should also be a ridiculous premise for Brittany Griner to go play in the NBA.
Who's saying that?
It's one of them deals that always come around, right? It always come around. Oh, Diana Taurasi could hold her own in the NBA. She'd be an all-star. And it's like, no, man, she wouldn't. These dudes finna be killing this chick because they way faster than her. They jump way higher than her. If they just let her shoot set shots, sure. If they allow her to just play fundamental basketball, great. But they're going to pressure her if they playing her for real. And it's going to be unfair really quickly. But people don't be wanting to have them honest conversations, man, because they all about this equity and this equality. And that's great, except when you're talking about sports competition. They design the way they are with advantages for biological males because it's about speed and strength. And
I mean, they don't even have a 10-second violation in the women's game.
Wait, they don't?
No, like to get the ball up past half court.
Stop.
No, they don't.
No.
I'm saying, man, it's different.
So they can just stay in the backcourt forever?
I mean, you still got shot clocks and stuff.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
no.
No pressures. Like it's just different, right?
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, some of the differences I agree with because of the differences, right? In the people that's playing. When people start acting like it's okay, like this lady would go and do the same thing against the men that she's doing against the other women, that's when it start getting ridiculous to me because you wouldn't want to have that conversation in the other direction. You know, you really wouldn't. So I think people just got to, you know, like let's just pump the brakes a little bit on that kind of conversation because you got people out there co-signing that girl, pumping that girl Clarissa Shields' head up like she really going to be able to do something with Keith Thurman. Man, that man get in the boxing ring with some gloves on and actually punch at that woman, he gonna hurt her bad. And then everybody gonna be saying he wrong and he hate women and all that old kind of shit. But y'all egging this shit on, man. And why? She's a great female boxer. Let's let her be that. But that's her ass out here running her mouth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she called him out at 154.
Yeah, man. And people supposed to just.
I think they want to do it for charity or something like
No,
that.
that's what he the one said that.
Oh, he the one
He
said
the one said for charity.
Maybe she wasn't looking for a payday.
You know?
Ain't no doubt, because also you also have to understand this: there is no money in most women's sports.
No money. The average basketball, the top, they said
The top
The
WNBA player.
the top NBA player has the almost, if not the whole.
Yeah, I think he can play the entire league with his
He can play
salary.
the whole league
That's
with his
crazy,
salary.
bro.
Yeah, I think he can.
But, you know,
He can.
in defense of that,
Well, I mean, they
them
generate more
NBA
money.
teams allow them to use their facilities, right? People don't be going to the women's games.
Yeah, that's the thing, man.
If folks
They don't
went to the
generate.
women's games and bought the women's merchandise,
Yeah, they don't generate.
and, you know, part of that got something I think to do with the way the TV schedule's set up, but that's late because it's 20 years later, right? It's 20-some years later. Maybe they started off, I don't know why, because
Man, they
them
were
women
rocking.
be fundamentally sound.
They are totally
They be
funny.
hooping, right?
Dude, when you just
But
talk
for whatever
about
reason-
basketball IQ and fundamentals, they
Yeah,
may have the
yeah.
men's game beat.
Yeah, they be hooping, no doubt. Yeah, they be hooping.
You get what I'm saying, bro? But it's the athleticism and excitement of the men's game
This the
that
problem
make
I
people
got.
tune in.
And I'm gonna say it because I say it all the time. I say it to my wife. I say it to everybody. This is the issue I have, right? Men pay for what women want.
Right? we pay
People
for,
will say
we
men
pay
got,
for what women
you know,
got.
we got the bulk of the wealth in America or whatever, right? That's cool. But men go buy stuff that women be wanting them to buy. If women wanted to watch the WNBA, men would watch the WNBA.
I mean,
Just
it's
women
more
don't
women.
They watch women's sports.
Yeah, it's more women in the world than men, right? So they could just support the WNBA on their own.
Women
They wouldn't
don't
even need a-
watch
they wouldn't
women's
even-
sports, man.
They wouldn't even need a
Yeah.
male fan base. Women
Right.
can support that on their
Women
own.
don't watch women's sports. That's you know. So it's like you mad at the wrong people.
Right.
Cause if this lady really wanted to go over there, cause when she want to go to the beauty salon, whole man gonna drop that money. So if she want to go see the aces,
Mhm.
whole man gonna drop that money.
So tell me this: what happened in
if she
the,
push it,
the first couple seasons? Remember when the Comets was
Yeah.
dominating and consolidating? It seemed like it was a bigger. Was it just because it was something fresh and new?
yeah,
Yeah. Because
yeah.
it seemed like they had a following.
Like any restaurant,
Yeah.
they gonna be packed first couple of months,
Yeah.
and then
Because
people gonna be like, yeah.
Because it was the Comets. They won 4 in a row with Cynthia Cooper and
Yeah.
Swoops ended up coming.
Swoop,
Yeah.
Tina Thompson.
Tina Thompson. Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
was killing the game.
Yeah.
But it's like 20 years later, why wasn't the hype able to continue? They did what they were supposed to do. They expanded,
Yeah.
right? They added teams, you know. But it's a lot of other stuff that I felt like there was some issues with the marketing, you know. But I think more than anything, if you go around and you talk to women, because if you want men to support, you got to have women supporting.
So what we want, what the women want.
You know,
That's like
And
the
I've
old.
just
If
not
you throw
spoken to a lot of women who
Los.
talk about wanting to watch the WNBA.
Low JK,
so-
y'all know how that is. That's like when you're throwing a party, concert, or something, right? You're gonna have something there where the women will show up, and we gonna follow wherever they go.
That's it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, that's why it's ladies get in free till 11 o'clock. I ain't never met a club say men get in free till 11 o'clock yet. Yeah.
Man, oh man.
yeah.
Would be nice,
Yeah.
but it ain't happening.
Yeah. So like you said, now you look at it, you know, a man gonna pay for what a woman wants, and he gonna pay for what a woman got. But
I wasn't gonna get in all that.
right.
I agree.
Yeah, we gonna pay
I
for what a
agree.
woman
Yeah,
got because
I
we want
certainly-
what she got.
I certainly can't argue with
Yeah,
that because
yeah.
I mean that's the oldest profession on the planet for a reason, right?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So man, so back to Bud and Spence, man. And you say you really either one of y'all really feel the need for a rematch, right?
I don't think there should be a rematch.
And
I think
going up in
Spence
weight
should
ain't gonna
go
do
ahead and
nothing.
retire.
Going up in weight ain't gonna do nothing either, huh?
No, that's the same Spence. So we just watch.
What I believe Errol what he should do
Definitely not a rematch in
Same.
December.
outside of the idea of even fighting, I think he should undergo as much and as comprehensive neurological testing as he possibly can.
You want that 100%, but you want to know one of the bad things about CTE?
Yeah, they can't check for it till you're dead,
Till you're
right?
dead when they do an autopsy.
Yeah.
They have no clue, bro. There's no CAT scans, no MRIs, nothing.
I've read that.
Yeah, you have to actually die, and they have to cut your head open, and that's when they can examine and tell if you got that CTE or not.
Which is very odd to me, but because it's like, I mean, it seems like you kind of, secure in search of a disease kind of thing, right? You, because I mean, if I can cut open somebody's brain that's dead and just point to some shit and say, oh, this was wrong with him.
Right, no,
right? As the cause for whatever he did or however he behaved.
Yeah.
It's difficult. That's a difficult conversation. And, I watched the movie,
Yeah.
I thought Will Smith did a brilliant job, but I don't know. I'm not completely sold on that science. I think is my deal. But there appears to be something significantly wrong with Errol Spence Jr. From the previous fight to the fight I just saw. That was certainly not the same guy.
And with neurological damage, it always appears to be, and again, I'm not a neurological scientist, I'm not a doctor, none of this, but it always seems to be progressive. So you may have looked one way in your previous fight, right? Mm-hmm. You also have to factor in that, you took some significant blows to the head that previous fight as well, right? That's because it's boxing, you don't get caught. It gets progressive.
And
so,
just for your long
and then this is just me just talking. I'm not saying,
health, bro.
Yeah.
Just check yourself out, man. Let
you're supposed
them
to.
People, because you got enough money.
Yeah.
To go pay for some folks who really know what they're doing.
Yeah. Even if you got to go out the
take a
country.
look at you,
Even if you got to go out the country, get you one of them brilliant experimental doctors.
I don't think it's nobody colder than nobody in. I'm one of them people who feel like the U.S. the coldest at everything. So I ain't gonna, you know what I'm saying. But whatever you need to do. Find you somebody, man.
Hey, what's that? The Fondren Group right there in Houston. You ain't gonna find better doctors in the world, man.
Find you somebody that's gonna be honest with you, though, man. Somebody that ain't,
And again, this is all
got no bias,
speculation.
And that's why I'm saying. I would ask that he get himself checked out.
But you did your thing, and we're not taking nothing from you, bro.
No.
We're not taking nothing.
That's my man.
We're not gonna sit there. I've been reading the crazy posts on some of these social medias, and they were even talking about him possibly juicing. I'm not even considering that.
Yeah, no, that's why you ain't heard me bring that up, because it's like, dude,
I think that's crazy. Yeah, you're really trying to discredit that cat, man.
The performance I watched Bud put on is the performance I've watched Bud put on multiple occasions on other people. Right. I just wasn't expecting Bud to be able to put that level of performance on against that guy.
Yeah.
Because Spence was that guy to me that would have been able to counter that with some stuff. I thought, again, that Bud would edge him out.
Yeah.
And I absolutely expected Bud to win the fight, but by split decision, not in no route like that.
So ain't no Panama Lewis action going on in Bud corner?
Man, old Panama. If y'all don't know,
go look that thing up.
Look him up.
Look at Aaron Pride versus, was it
Alexis Arguello.
Hey, look at, man.
Yes, sir.
So look at, for y'all don't know the story, man. They going in this one of the 15-round classes, right? They going into maybe the 14, 15 round. I think Aaron Pride's down on the cards. He goes to his corner. His trainer, Panama Lewis. He tells one of the other kids.
He's breathing heavy.
Yeah.
He can't catch his breath. He's shaking his head.
He tells the kid, he say, give me the water bottle. Can't hand him the water bottle. He say, no, the other one, the one I mixed.
That's what he said, folks. It plain as day.
How you mix water?
He said it plain as day.
The one I mixed.
And Aaron Pride comes out in the next round and completely demolishes Alexis.
Looked like he knocked him out, woke him up, knocked him out again.
For real. He had to put him to sleep and woke him up a couple of times before the referee was able to stop.
And the legend has it, the word has it, that he might have had mixed Sudafed in the water bottle.
And just for a little more context, right? So there won't nobody say we slandering Panama Lewis's name. The same guy lost his license to train fighters because
indefinitely for life. He got banned for life.
Right, because he took the patent out of another fighter's gloves.
Yeah.
So, you know,
He
it
got banned
ain't
for
like
life.
he was above no shady shit.
Hey man,
And,
again, I'm gonna ask you, how you mix water?
Man, and he said that ain't no way to confuse what he said.
it was
He said
clear
the
as
one
day.
I mixed.
Yeah, clear as day. They said he put Sudafed in there, and for y'all to, do a little background, little science on that. Suda has ephedrine in it. Ephedrine is the basis for crystal.
Man, I don't know what none of that is.
Yeah, me neither.
Get me discussing.
I'm reading off the computer right now. Look at that.
I'm not about to be discussing.
Look at God punishment for lying.
Yeah,
Right there. Triple B, baby.
Yeah, I'm not. No.
Punishment for lying right there. God forgive me. Yeah, okay. That's another conversation for another time. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll get into my background later on, y'all.
Yeah. Yeah, we gonna walk that one off.
Yeah.
Now, so let me ask you this, man, and this is completely. I'm changing gears here, right?
We're gonna put that on the clip.
I'm
on
walking
TikTok.
off boxing. I'm changing gears.
Yeah.
Man, y'all see the president been indicted in multiple states or multiple counties?
Once
Former
again?
president, man.
Once
Man,
again.
people really going after this guy.
Yeah.
Like I thought this was like, some political footballing, right?
You thought it was political
we gonna-
theater.
Yeah, we gonna take enough pot shots at him right fast. Where we gonna get some of them fence people that don't really be knowing who they want to vote for.
Yeah.
To say, ooh, if they charging him with crimes, I can't vote for him, right? Just so we could.
No, they're really going
Man, I
after.
think they really trying to put this cat in the penitentiary, bro.
But this is the bad part. Ain't nothing been able to stick just yet, right?
No. But it's some bad stuff out there, right?
It is. But like, is it ever going to stick? That's been the
what I'll
thing.
say. This is, and I saw this recently, right? So, one of the charges that's been levied against him was that he reached out and he attempted to obstruct an official proceeding, i.e., the certification of the election.
Right.
Whereby he called this person, and this is what the charges say. So clearly, it's a law because these charges say that you can't call nobody and try to get them to stop the election count, or try to get them to stop certifying the election.
Okay.
Well, one of his lawyers gets on TV and tells the people basically that that's what he did. And I'm like, why is this guy running his mouth? And it is like
You
other
my
lawyers
lawyer.
on Twitter saying this dude was supposed to be quiet.
Yeah,
up
you
there.
my lawyer.
There's no way he was supposed to even answer this, let alone in that manner. So my mind tell me either they got a rabbit in the hat, or man, them people really gonna try to put a former president in the penitentiary.
That ain't never happened before. They tried what Nixon. Well, he got
Wow.
pardoned.
Yeah, this shit, wow, man.
Nixon got pardoned.
Because I mean, don't get me wrong.
But you think they pardoned Trump?
I'll
Let me
say
ask you
this
that.
on both sides of that. If a Republican becomes president,
No,
absolutely.
Democrat.
No.
And let him sit
No.
down.
Yeah. But if look, I say this to anybody. I believe he did everything they claiming he did.
Okay.
I just don't think it's that uncommon, right? I think the shit he did be
Was
being
pretty-
done by everybody. They just
Right.
made a big deal out of it because it was him doing it.
Yeah, I can agree.
I feel the exact same way when I see these Republicans screaming and hollering about Joe and using his influence to get Hunter Biden a job and
hasn't?
charisma. And it's like,
Who has it?
okay, so an old dude who got a good position in this company, got a dope fiend kid, he ain't gonna help him?
That story sounds familiar.
'Cause that's
We'll talk
That's the
about
gist
that
of what
another
happened.
time.
The vice president got a dope fiend kid, and he allowed his son, he lent his influence to aid his addicted son in finding some financial
You
stability.
ever heard about that story in real
Right?
life?
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's,
Anybody? You ever know that?
I think, this is my personal opinion, it ain't a grown-ass man out there that wouldn't do the same for their own son.
No.
Hey man, without question.
So it's like for you to act
Son or
like,
daughter, without question.
because he's not, these people done told you, he ain't tell me to do nothing.
Yeah.
that don't mean they didn't do it on the strength of him anyway, right? Because I didn't have people look out for my daughter. I didn't even know my daughter was involved. My daughter went to work in the refineries for a minute, right?
Mm-hmm.
She went to go and she applied for this job at a scaffold building company. Guy who was one of the foremen at the scaffold building company saw her name and said, "Hey, are you from around here?" And she was like, "Well, you know, my dad is." He was like, "Your daddy's name ain't Carlos, is it?" "Yeah, that's my old man." Immediately looked out for her.
Mm-hmm.
That person didn't call and tell me, "Hey man, I looked out for your kid." My daughter asked me, "Hey, do you know such and such, God rest his soul, my classmate, do you know Alex Dennis?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's my classmate, you know. Well, that's who I'm working with. He did this, and this for me." And it's like, man, I sure appreciate that, bro. But like, man, I ain't in no shape to do nothing on behalf of that. Man, it ain't about that, man. You good people. I seen your daughter. I'm gonna look out. So it's like, I have no doubt that them people looked out for Hunter Biden. Specifically because his daddy was the vice president.
When hasn't
right?
that happened though?
Right. They did so not under some agreement they had with Joe, but with the expectation that he'd remember that they did it.
Yeah.
It's a.
When hasn't that happened? When hasn't nepotism?
They found cocaine in the White House, and we all.
And won't tell me who did it.
We all know where it comes
How
from.
y'all gonna tell me y'all can't find out who the dope for, man?
The dude on camera, like, wiping his nose, like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like the homie that told us because he went visited the White House. Like they scan your hands
Man, them people
for
say
drugs
they don't
and all
know
kind
who
of
did
shit,
it.
man.
They don't know who that dope was for.
You get what I'm
bro.
saying, bro? Like that should probably possibly be the most secure and hunkered down place in the
It
nation.
should be.
Oh, it is.
But they got cocaine in there. They found cocaine.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
because
no doubt.
someone with access to walk in and out that bitch when he wants to is the one who brought it in there.
And I mean, hey,
You get what I'm
man,
saying?
again, I say, look, I used to get high.
Say what?
In case y'all didn't know.
Say what?
You know what I'm saying? I used to get
Hell nah, not Loach.
It's a whole bunch of people's cars I got into with some dope. They might not have known I had it, but I knew I had it, right? Now, I ain't dropped nothing. I don't understand that. You got to be having like a lot of dope to be dropping shit.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Or just,
You know what I'm saying?
Just careless like
Or
that.
yeah, man, but
You don't care.
goodness gracious.
Maybe an
In
empty
the
bag.
way you gonna tell me
Maybe an empty
that
bag.
somebody dropped a dime, somebody dropped a sheet in the White House, and y'all don't know who did it?
Yeah, come on.
Man, y'all lying.
Go roll the
Y'all
cameras
ain't
back.
so-
Go roll the
y'all
cameras
I
lying.
know they got cameras.
Go
in
roll
there.
the cameras back. We know exactly where it come from. The reason y'all
Yeah,
telling
they
us y'all don't know is from
disrespecting
the fact they say they don't know tells us that they know exactly who it
Yeah,
is.
man, they didn't disrespect us with that one.
Yeah.
Y'all disrespect.
Because if it was anyone else, I promise you it'd have been on the WrestleMania.
Oh yeah,
Let Obama would have been in office.
yeah, oh yeah.
Let Obama would have been in office. They found some cocaine. They would have Michelle your ass going down.
And you know what I'm saying?
They would have
Real talk.
Everybody.
And truth be told, if Trump was in office, they would have went after his
I
ass
don't know.
too.
I don't know.
They'd have went after his
I don't
ass
know.
too, because they be shooting at that.
It's
dude.
something about
And don't get me wrong, he a clown, bro. He make it easy for him.
Yeah.
But they be
Something
shooting
about
at
it,
this
man.
dude,
I guess
bro.
because he's not establishment. Or so say establishment. I mean, he's part of the establishment.
Yeah, I think.
But maybe he's not as deep establishment as other politicians are. They
Yeah.
really be going at that motherfucker.
Because it's like he came straight off the streets. He wasn't no senator. He wasn't no governor. I don't believe.
Nothing.
He wasn't none of that.
Never
He
in
came
politics.
straight off the
Never in
streets.
I think
politics.
it's
You know what I mean?
it's his arrogance
Yeah.
that pissed them people off
Yeah.
more than anything.
Yeah.
He arrogant, man.
Yeah.
And I think what they be wanting to try to show him is, look, you've been allowed to play this game, and you've been winning, and that's cool. But there's a time and a place where you got to chill. And he decided he wasn't going to chill.
Yeah.
And they said, all right, motherfucker, you've been told, you have been warned.
Yeah.
And he kept on anyway. And they said, all right then, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they just pull out all the stops. And I didn't at least believe that the end goal was to try and put him in prison. I thought they just wanted to make him uncomfortable. But like, man, they really shooting at this
But
dude.
I think that's
to
what
me, man.
that's
They
what
going
they're
after
still
this guy,
trying to do though.
you
Like
know?
make him uncomfortable because they really charging him with some bullshit.
Some of that shit got prison time attached to it.
Look,
And I mean, yeah, of course he gonna, even if he's convicted, certainly he'll be able to plea any of this down to probation,
Yeah.
right? But then you
And it's
got
hard for me to even
clowns
see
saying
that.
shit like these are process crimes. It wouldn't be a crime without the investigation. Well, it wouldn't be an investigation without the crime.
Yeah, they
You
go
see how
hand in
that
hand.
work? Come on, man. They could, But I get where he coming from because it's one of them deals like I go outside, the laws pull up on me and say, show me your ID. I'm going to tell them no because I don't have a legal obligation to do that in the state of Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And they say, well, look, you stand right here. Why am I standing right here? I ain't done nothing.
mm-hmm.
I go to turn and look back towards the house and he grabbed me. I'm going to get his arm off of me because why are you grabbing me and I ain't done nothing? I'm finna be arrested for resisting arrest.
Resisting arrest.
Problem with that is in order for you to be resisting arrest, you have to be being arrested for something.
And you weren't ever arrested me.
So it's like, what's the underlying crime that I'm resisting? And they ain't got nothing. And they don't tell everybody that those resisting arrest charges get thrown out
Mm-hmm.
on a regular basis.
Okay.
Because you can't explain that. What you gonna tell the judge you was arresting me for me to be resisting you?
Right.
What am I resisting? I'm resisting your unlawful authority,
Mm-hmm.
but not your arrest.
So is it a lawsuit that can come with that?
You know,
Without
you ain't
harassment?
gonna win it.
No.
Yeah, you ain't gonna win it. Because all they gonna need to say is, well, I had reasonable cause to pull over and talk to the guy, and then they
You
can
fit
say
the
whatever they
profile.
want to say about how you behaved,
Yeah.
right?
That's what I
They
think they're
gave them
doing.
reason
Trump
to
does.
believe
I
they
think they just want to spend some
you know.
money. Just trying to get in his pocket.
And that's possible. That's possible. It just seemed like it's coming from a lot of different places. To me, like it may be a couple of them people that's what's on their mind,
Right.
but I think it's a couple of these folks who really feel like they might have action at putting this dude in prison. And it's like, man, y'all really going all out, right? Like, are y'all sure about this? Because you're setting a monster ass precedent.
And it could also be, right now the Democrats are in control of the media. So if we keep this on the TV saying these specific things about putting them in prison time, this much time, this time, and Trump associated with it, guess what? You take that motherfucker out of the equation, come vote time.
Because I'll tell you that it worked for the Republicans against Hillary Clinton.
Mm-hmm.
Because she was leading in the polls until Comey said, hey, we're reopening the investigation.
Okay.
People don't remember that dude did that shit in early voting.
Okay.
It was people going vote, man. And that dude put a memo out and said, we're reopening the investigation into Hillary Clinton based on emails we found on Homer Aberdeen's laptop. Now, the whole time, on Anthony Weiner's laptop.
On Weiner, yeah.
Which was Aberdeen's husband, right? Whole time it was the same emails they already had. Man, you had to know that already. But you put that memo out anyway.
Yeah, it's roadblock.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then right after the election, you say, oops, those were just copies of the same emails we already had.
Right.
And so it's
but
like
that memo did what it was supposed to do.
It did. It absolutely did what it was supposed to do.
Probably paid to get that. Come on now.
Yeah. And that may be exactly what's going on here. It's just there's a part of me that just recognizes how dangerous a precedent this is, right? Where whichever party's in control got that kind of action to really go after members of the other party with like criminal shit like that. We talking way back John Adams, with the aliens and sedition shit, man.
Oh yeah, okay.
When you trying to put motherfuckers in the penitentiary for criticizing you and shit like this is crazy.
Yeah.
Man, we got to.
You was really making it time of them to making it a minority or some kind of shit, like a dictatorship.
Shit we got going on here. Y'all, let's settle down.
And you talking about, and when he say John Adams, he's talking all the way back to the late 1700s, early 1800s.
Yeah, man. Talking about like second
president ever. Yeah, after Washington it was Adams. Right.
But it was like if somebody said something bad about that dude, he wanted to lock him up. He was like going after political rivals with criminal shit like this.
Yeah, like
so
actually
like,
shredding the Constitution on that.
Yeah, like is this guy really worth that?
Yeah.
Is he worth us, compromising what we like to consider the integrity of our country? And I mean, I guess, the real truth is this country doesn't have near the integrity it proclaims. right? But you know, it's some stuff you want to tell yourself, look, man, damn, we can talk shit on each other, but man, you're going a little too far here.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's kind of, you know.
Well, man,
what some people
you
see
also
it.
think, you know, and there's always the the talks and the theory that Trump, one of the reasons he's also so hated is because he actually threw a monkey wrench in everyone's plans, because he was he wasn't a politician ahead of time, and he came and actually, because then you go into the theory that the old controversy that presidents are selected, not elected.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And they had this person already lined up, and Trump came and actually
stole it,
threw a curveball. Yeah.
So to me, that should have inspired some confidence from the American people.
That it could happen, right? That it could happen.
But it didn't. What it did instead was just drove a big old wedge in the middle. And it's like, because it used to be like black people always been kind of like, with the white folks in America, right? Because we got.
I think the only time we really got involved is when Obama was.
Right. And it's because, it's a lot of
history
information with us, right? And the things that we've experienced with folks smiling in our face, and somebody else got to help get the knife out our back. So it's like, but when you talking about folks who really, under normal circumstances, would be pretty close ideologically, and they polar opposite now because of this guy. Like something wrong, something's fractured there. And this is not a conversation I generally have with black folks. It's really not. And honestly, I believe it's because there's a part of me that thinks that we think we bigger and more important in this country than we are. Like, we're 12% of the population, and we have been 12% of the population for a very long time.
Yeah, that's crazy how that number's never.
That has not increased in decades.
I don't know, man, but that number's been stagnated, bro. For years. I guarantee you that number's been the same since I've been alive.
Part of that's the amount of homicides. Part of that's the amount of heart disease. Part of that's the number of abortions. Like, it's a lot that go into it. There's a lot of factors. There are people you talk to, like, say, Dr. Umar. Shout out Dr. Umar. He be going out. But that's my man.
He's entertaining.
Yeah,
boy, he's entertaining.
Umar be going live, man. I like it. You know what
Umar's
I'm saying?
entertaining. He don't even be trying to be.
Yeah. Umar go hard. Umar go hard. It's some of his stuff I don't rock with, right? But overall, generally speaking, I like to do. I think he'd be kicking some real knowledge, right? But
gifts,
there are
donations.
People who will tell you, when you talk about the liberal agenda, right?
Yeah.
When they talk about these white folks who get offended because somebody say, look, that monkey. How you knew he was talking about me?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you,
so
when you fight the order for me that I'm fighting
prejudice
for myself,
and bias.
I got to watch you.
Yes, your own prejudice and bias. Because he said, look, that monkey. He didn't point out who he talking to, and you automatically said, hey, don't talk about my black friend then.
Right.
Well, he might have been
so
talking
it's like,
about
which
you.
one of y'all really think I'm a monkey?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you got to, I got to watch them too.
Right.
When the Black Lives Matter movement was completely and all but totally co-opted by white people. It said Black Lives Matter, but when you started looking at the people who were actually involved in these different chapters, a lot of them were white people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, now whatever they say gets attributed to all of us. But we 12% of the population. 12% ain't never changed nothing.
No.
12% doesn't drive the bus, right? So we got to get with somebody to help us move our agenda forward.
You got to have allies.
Because 12% is not going to move our agenda.
Allies?
You don't. It's a hope and a prayer.
That's the difficult part. It got to be some trust there, right?
It's a hope and a prayer, man. And this is
we've
what
experienced some negativity as a result.
And what allies usually do. Sometimes allies have their own agenda attached to this.
No doubt. Which was what happened with the Black Lives Matter movement.
Yeah.
Because when you started looking at the about page on most of these chapters, and you start looking into the details of it, a lot of it was putting political contributions out to candidates of their choosing.
Mm-hmm.
Not candidates of the choosing of the black community, right? Because they didn't ask us. hey, who do you guys support politically? They decided. And they told us, hey, donate these dollars to Black Lives Matter to end police brutality. And then they went and they funneled that money to a bunch of organizations that nobody told us about. And because a lot of black people not gonna go read all of that stuff on them websites, they not gonna know where their money's going. They thinking this money going to the families of this slain teenager or something, and it's not.
It's not.
It's not, man. And it was like it put a black cloud over all of those other people who were legitimately trying to do some good stuff, right? When you got the large chapters, when you got several large chapters that have been busted for doing this.
Yeah.
It make not everybody got to be doing it, right? And it's like, come on, guys, y'all know that's absolutely not the
What happened,
truth.
man?
But that's the narrative the media gonna run with.
That's
You
what
know,
happened with that
so-
is like just about damn near every other organization that has been created, man. I mean, in theory, it might be the best thing since sliced bread, but you got human beings running it, bro.
Dog, think about this.
Yeah.
Every time, it never starts off as a riot. Doesn't start off that way.
Never.
It's a protest.
It starts off as a protest.
It's a peaceful.
protest.
And what I believe
And then somebody throws a chair.
could be
Somebody
done.
throws a chair.
This is the part that was seen, recognized, witnessed
The
to.
provocateur. What are they called?
The provocateur.
Yeah, the provocateurs, man. Yeah, they the ones they
Cats
stir
like
shit up.
I used to be.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to put that on myself because I was one of them people. Now, I never did this, but it is absolutely something I would have been amenable to doing, which is to go stand in the background of a peaceful protest and just start, man, fuck them.
I mean, he's, you know
Now
what?
you bitch ass nigga.
He talked.
And then just throw something.
He talked
right?
that shit.
Now it's on.
Yeah.
And I get to do the thing I really came here to do, which was to steal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's all I'm here for.
Yeah,
I'm trying to come up.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about this nigga these laws
Agent-
just killed, man.
Agent
Trying to hit me
provocateurs.
a lick.
See, man, you hear
You
some,
know?
you talk to some of them old heads with the union, and they say that's a lot of that shit used to go back on in the 60s and the 70s. They having a regular, normal union meeting, bro. You know, some of them old heads get to theorizing that the company might have sent somebody.
I promise you they did.
But it say also, you know, they in there, the meeting might be going a little intense, right? All of a sudden you hear somebody say, fuck it, let's
I
strike.
promise you. I promise you.
They done threw up picket signs for about a month or two, and nobody even know why they're
I
striking.
promise you,
That's
bro.
crazy.
Because they're people that send somebody in
Yeah,
and
that's
look, this,
crazy.
all you got to do is,
Man,
this is a fucking powder keg.
yep,
All you got to do, we're going to let you know when. Just keep that earphone in your ear.
yeah, fuck it, let's
We're going to
strike.
let you know when. And the minute that motherfucker point his finger and they get nose to nose, just throw some.
Yeah,
Just chuck it in there, walk off. The rest gonna take care of itself. And it just when the protest occurred after Darren Wilson killed Mike Brown
mm-hmm.
in Ferguson, Missouri.
Yeah,
I'm watching this shit on TV. And I don't know if you remember this, but I went up there shortly after.
I
had to
remember.
go to. I had
Remember
to
you
go
went to
on a
Baton
job.
Rouge too, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I went over there voluntarily
Okay,
behind the Alton Sterling thing.
yeah,
And them dudes at that store told me flat out. Now, I'm not going to say none of their names, but it's guys who hang around that store all the time, homeless guys who live there. And what them dudes told me is, man, that nigga going to squab the laws.
yeah. They say,
He's famous for it.
say that's what he did.
Everybody know he ain't going peacefully, man. Nigga done been locked down 3-4 times. He done been in the journey 3-4 times. He in the city. He ain't going back like that. That man, if them laws wouldn't have done him, he was gonna do them.
Straight up.
Straight up.
Yeah,
Now the Mike Brown thing, I had to go work up there, right? So I had to drive. I flew to St. Louis. Ferguson is like Groves, right? It's right there.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So and them people were peaceful, man. Them people was having conversations with. It might have been 30 people out there, man.
I heard that.
And then I'm sitting in the hotel, and it's like I can't go back that way to go home, to fly home because it done
shut
got
down.
set off out there. So I know somebody from there, and what I was told was, man, look, real talk, everything was fine until them 3 buses showed up. Buses, what you talking about? Man, it was buses of people that showed up to protest. And that's when the riots kicked off. Who paying for these fucking buses?
Right.
Where these people coming from, man? Somebody fund these protests, bro. Somebody be funding that shit.
Right.
And sending reinforcements on backup.
And somebody get on that bus
They already know
because they done been given a whole nother assignment than the rest of these people. You know what I'm saying? And that's just.
And didn't the same thing happen with Big Floyd? Didn't they actually have people on video going buzz windows?
They caught the white dude.
Yeah, in all black.
Masked up,
yeah,
goggled down, set shit on fire. And when they started asking him who you is, what you doing, he burned off. He tried to knock the camera down, and it's like, the fuck is this?
They also had FBI agent in the Black Lives Matter movement undercover protesting with the
no doubt
BLM. They got her on camera because she's an officer.
And this is stuff that's been going on again for decades. It's the same thing the COINTELPRO program used to do. When the FBI was infiltrating the Black Panther Party. And they would stick people in there to do shit so that the public would say, oh, look, the Black Panthers are bad.
Yeah.
And it's like, it took 30 years, but the Freedom of Information Act got people to start getting their memos declassified and, released, and it's flat out saying it. Yeah, now we put these dudes in here, and basically what they did is they went and they brought crack over. And then we sent the police over there, and once they arrested this guy for crack, the community doesn't see it as an activist center anymore. They see it as a crack den. Yeah. Or, they see it as a drug stash now.
They pump cheap dope in the community to neutralize the movement, all kind of shit, man.
We send this guy, and we have him go, and all he got to do is offer to sell them these illegal guns at this freakishly cheap price. Mm-hmm. And then once they agree to buy it, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And you entrapping the shit out these
dudes. They had that, man. Look, bro, some of them, and some, like you just said, some of them files have been released here recently. But, man, I remember back in the 80s and 90s, man, just, ear hustling amongst the old heads. And you would hear, because we always had cats coming down from Cali.
Right.
The cats talking about boxcars from them trains being dropped off in the middle of the ghetto. Right?
Straight up.
Full of guns.
Guns and drugs, man. Because curiosity going to kill the cat. It can only sit there for so long.
Yeah.
But this is the thing.
It was a class action suit in Baltimore some years back.
Yeah, this is the thing about that, though.
About 18-wheeler truck.
Because that's human nature, that somebody's going to go. So you can do that in the community, and the same thing is going to happen. But it's a trip that they always pick one specific community to run these experiments. So, you get what I'm saying, bro? Because it don't matter where you put that. Curiosity, that's human nature. You're going to go and explore. You're going to go see what this is, man.
Have y'all watched that clone Tyrone?
I was just really getting
I tried.
That is in.
First of all, Jamie Foxx is one of the funniest motherfuckers in the world on there.
No doubt.
Everything that came out of his mouth.
No doubt.
I tried to watch it, man, and I guess I got tired of doing something. I guess I got super busy.
Bro, watch that.
I'm gonna redo it. Yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
I'm not gonna say it's eye opening for me because a lot of this stuff, right?
This stuff you know and believe already. Yeah.
Right. I've already been researching on since I was young because, I had a relative that was in there.
But
right?
you can't say it's not like that. They ain't putting something in a goddamn shampoo or something. You know what I'm saying?
But
they ain't got no underground lab.
But they have developed a persona that they sell us is absolute. Because when you look at what black women think is beautiful.
Yep.
That was packaged and sold to them.
Yep.
That ain't something they created on their own. Yep. It was packaged and sold.
And it's getting worse about it.
What we think, what black men think is cool and hip and hot.
Yeah.
Was packaged and sold to us. The only question after that got to be by who? Who decided that a mouthful of gold or a mouthful of diamonds was cool?
Yeah.
But man, also like with the jury, man, don't that come back from back in the day as well, though, like pre-slavery. Like, didn't they say that like a lot of the kings and queens in Africa always was draped up?
We wouldn't know that.
That's
so
true. We
our
wouldn't.
history has been lost on us. Somebody had to give us that. We wouldn't know that.
Very true.
Right?
Very true. Very true.
And that's what I always say to people when they say, well, this is, how do you know that's your heritage?
Yeah.
Because the truth is, you might be from Ethiopia, I might be from Ghana in real life.
Yeah.
Two completely different cultures on two completely different sides of the continent.
Right.
Did they wear jewelry in Ethiopia? I don't know.
Right.
Right? I'd have to ask the Ethiopians.
Right.
So who's telling y'all this?
Right.
Because when you go and you talk to black people who claim to be, who got the woke thing, right, and they done all this research, 97 to 99% of that research was done on Egypt only.
Kenny, when did what they used to call it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where Max,
Small percentage
right,
come from
that's
Egypt.
going to consist of Egypt, Eritrea, and maybe a small part of Ethiopia.
Yeah, but
But the
Africa's
truth
a
is,
vast
it's the lower,
continent.
the upper Nile region and the lower and upper
the
Nubia.
Saharan regions and all
You know,
that. Yeah,
but
man.
when you talking about all the way down to like Namibia and places like
South
that,
Africa,
these are different cultures. So you can't just say, hey man, Africans used to do this. That's a big old place.
do this.
Like, are we sure that
Vast
they
land.
used to? So it's like somebody packaged that shit and sold it to
Say,
us,
bro,
man.
Louisiana and Texas is different. So what you think when you on
Real talk.
two different opposite ends of a continent?
Real talk.
Yeah.
So
man.
somebody packaged and sold that to us, man. And it's like, who told us that was hot? Because I mean, like I was at the beginning of hip hop, right? I was live, I was kicking, I was moving around, I was there
Right.
during its origin. I'm 50 years old. Now, when they do hip hop's 50th celebration, man, we wasn't listening to hip hop down here. We didn't have hip hop in Texas 50 years ago. We got it like 43 years ago. Because it took some time for it to get from
To
up
filter
there down here, right?
Yeah. Because everything was word of mouth. Everything
I
had
don't
to
care what
travel.
nobody tell you.
Snail mail.
If they from H-Town, Podolk, or places like that, the first hip hop song they heard was Rapper's Delight.
Well, that's the first one to hit the radio.
Yeah.
That's it, man.
That was 79, right?
That's it, right? So it's like that's.
Yeah, we wasn't
You know,
ingrained. You're trying to say Texas wasn't ingrained in that
I'm
culture.
7 years old
Yeah.
when Rapper's Delight hit, right?
Right.
But I meant to.
You didn't know who Cool Herc was or none of that shit back then.
Who decided then
Yeah.
to package gangster rap and sell it? Because that wasn't no gangster rap,
Nah.
man. So who decided to package? And like people say, well, NWA, listen,
Before-
NWA had
NIC.
some dope shit, but they also had some political shit,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, they were socially
Ice-T
conscious.
had some political shit.
He was socially conscious. He said no to drugs. Ice-T used to
You
push
know?
that.
So it's like,
Yeah.
who decided to package and sell us gangster rap?
Jimmy Iovine with the Chronic.
Somebody made that decision for us.
Yeah.
And
Man, you might have to go back and edit that out.
What's
'Cause I
so
don't want
eye-opening.
no deals for us. Beat that out, okay? Because we going to sign that contract if you bring it. But beat that name out, all right, when you do this
Man,
edit.
that motherfucker ain't gonna want to talk to us.
Yeah, when you do that
know
edit.
better than that.
Do that edit.
But I
beat
mean,
that
like
name
legit,
out.
somebody told us, hey, this is what's hot. And they kept telling us that, right? I used to have a line in a song that I did. This is back when I thought I
Why
was
you ain't
a
never
rapper,
let me hear?
right? Oh, I did. Just a heads up for the folks listening, man. Back when I thought I was still gonna try to rap at Petty something. You understand me? I cut a little old track and I let my boy listen to it and he just stayed quiet over it, y'all. You understand? He ain't want to do his boy bad.
I was soaking it in.
That my shit was trash.
I
man.
was soaking it
Hey,
in.
look here, man. My shit was trash, y'all.
I was
It's
soaking
all
it in.
good. I ain't mad.
I was soaking
Trash
it
is
in.
trash.
You know how you gotta
But-
listen to it. You gotta let it soak in, baby.
But one of the things I talked about in there is when you look at it honestly, right? Let's say Drake put a song out tomorrow, right? They're going to play that song on the radio 25 times a day.
It's gonna become embedded in your brain.
Do you really believe that they playing it 25 times a day because it's being requested?
No.
Or does it start being requested because they play it 25 times?
Programming.
It's programming, man.
Programming.
And like they actually call it programming in our face.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Like they call the project's a project.
They make it what we like.
Yeah, they call the project
by making us listen to it every day. They make these TV shows what we like by making us watch them every night. So somebody packaging that shit and selling it to us. The question is who and why. And so I think that movie They Clone Tyrone explores that
But
in reasonably comedic yet tragic fashion, right?
Yeah,
and I think they balance that delicately and nicely. But man, it's a solid flick.
Say,
It's
bro,
a good watch.
it's an old saying. Shout out.
people didn't like that flick.
Really?
I've seen mixed reviews.
That shit good, man.
Shit's good.
I've
It's a
seen
really
mixed
good
reviews,
flick.
but it's like you say with the
you know.
and I tried to watch it. I didn't get to watch it, but it's an old saying. I remember the homie Mr. Seltzer told me this back in the gap. He says a lot of truth and bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just that's
And
that's
it's
some
just
words
like
I live
honesty,
by.
bro.
There's words I live by. It's a
Yeah.
lot of truth and bullshit,
You know?
man. Sometimes truth. What's those saying? Truth stranger than fiction.
Yeah.
You get
Or
what I'm saying?
imitate life and then life imitate that same art.
Yeah. So
'Cause
like I said,
mean,
I put it
that's what
on
it is.
last week. I was out of towns in Round Rock. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And I put it on, man, and I just didn't complete it. You know what I mean?
Man, it's worth the watch.
It is.
It really is.
I'm gonna check
Worth
it
the
out.
watch.
I tried to watch it, man, and
You know.
I don't know if I nodded or you get what I'm saying, fam. And yeah, but I'm gonna have to pick it back.
And
up.
I ain't, I ain't going around telling everybody, man, I'm telling you, watch, they clone Tyrone, that's what's happening in real life. I'm saying they're concepts, right? They're concepts. Because I'm saying, for real, hey man, look, people be tripping, man. And folks be tripping, man. And people, I'm gonna say this, because this real talk. We did a show once. We was talking. We were joking around, and we were talking about real niggas, right?
Yeah.
And we said real nigga went to wear the dinosaur or whatever. And we talked about them finding a real nigga somewhere, and all they would find is a heart and a spine and shit like that.
and a set of nuts. That's it. That's all his remains was.
So like for real, man, real nigga shit is 5% of people is real.
Yeah.
You know, and he said, Lo, say that shit in Latin. And I said, I just threw some shit out of that.
That's some fly shit.
I said irregulus nigulus, right?
That's some fly shit. He was with the flyness. I'm sorry.
Man,
Somebody asked me, is that really how you say
see
it?
what I'm saying? That's why I say people be tripping.
Swear to God. Somebody say,
Man.
they say, man, because you know, no smart, man. That's
Right.
he says, that really how you say it?
And I ain't dissing that person.
That's my
Right.
homie. I love it.
Motherfuckers understand it be bad, man. People don't really be actually listening,
Yeah.
right? They hear what they think you said. They see what they already believe. They don't believe what they see. They see what they already believe.
Right.
If somebody close to me come tell me, man, JK an asshole, man, he's a terrible person, man, that's what I'm going to see in you.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what you actually doing, you could be feeding the homeless man, and I'm gonna say, look, he dogging that homeless man out, giving him little bullshit ass scraps.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like people be tripping. So I try to make sure I clarify everything I'm saying, because I don't want this shit get misconstrued. Somebody come and tell me, well, you said they had underground labs and they don't. And it's like, that's not what I said. That's not what I said at all.
But
You know?
that's the same way how a motherfucker can get fucked up by listening to media or watching
For
these
real.
type of movies.
Legit, because they'll believe it.
They're gonna believe
They
it.
believe it,
It
man.
will throw you.
Now listen, I had a conversation with a very intelligent,
It will throw you.
wealthy, right?
Yeah.
Wealthy and well-established white conservative just last week. He made statements about what the Republicans needed to do to win the presidency. And he said it's difficult to get black people to go against voting Democrat.
Mhm.
All of those years of promises are hard to walk away from. And I said, hey man,
Why they
You
telling you
shouldn't
what's going on
presume
in the black community?
to
number
tell
one?
me what me and people who experience what I experience or why we do what we do.
Well, that be like an
The
insult.
real reason it's difficult for you to capture black voters is because of the people who support you.
Right.
When you talk about guys like Jared Taylor and Nick Fuentes and Richard Spencer, right?
David
when you
Duke.
talk about the white supremacist
Yeah.
groups, the KKK and people like that, they all in 2023 support the Republican Party. Why then would I align myself with that? They support that party because they believe that party furthers their ideology. So it's like, I want to say Dave Chappelle, it may have been, but somebody said, you may not be racist, but the racists believe that you are.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to take a step back and I got to really be sold on what you're talking about. This dude came right back. And again, this is a very intelligent, well-established conservative.
Mm-hmm.
This dude came right back and said the name calling don't help.
That's all he could come with.
And I said, who did I call a name? I called off the specific names of organizations who say that they are white supremacists and white power. I didn't say you was one. I didn't say anybody that you know are one. I said those people support the same political party you do.
Yeah.
He said stop name calling.
Hey, man.
Because that's what he saw, man. He needed to see that to make what he was thinking okay.
Look here. I've had them talks too. I said, because historically, I mean, and again, it's really an insult when they try to tell you what's going on in the black community. And
That's
how we
crazy
think and
because
how we
like you
feel.
don't even have no black friends.
Right. But number two is like, so I've sit there and said this before. Like you say, he may not be racist, but racists think he are. I say, you know what would be a big help? Because historically, the black community has been hella conservative, bro. When you really look at the ideologies of the black community, bro, it lines up probably more conservative than it does liberal, historically.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? So I'm just like, well, why haven't none of these candidates just openly distanced themselves from these groups, right?
From that.
Man, you still need the votes.
Mm-hmm.
And they need the money.
I said, but yeah, okay, right, they do need the money. I said, but don't you think you'll gain a lot of the black votes?
No, they might gain black votes, but they won't gain
Ain't no
black
money.
dollars.
Right.
And that's the part black people don't understand. And that's why we can't move the train.
Because you see other
Because
communities,
we won't donate.
they
That's
gonna put
the
that
same
money
reason
behind their vote.
HBCUs struggle.
Yeah.
And black people consistently complain about the disparities between HBCUs and Power
Well,
5.
other communities gonna put some money behind
They
their
gonna
voice.
put that money
They gonna
out
put that
there,
money
man.
behind
And
their
we
voice.
ain't putting no money out there.
Yeah.
We not.
Yeah.
It's cats I know went to HBCUs, and when they was dog in prime time for going to Colorado to coach, I asked them, how many children have you steered towards an HBCU? Right? Let's say, excuse me, your nephew or your little cousin, cold cornerback, right? He's 6 foot, 205, running 4.40 40 in high school. Are you gonna tell that kid to go to PV? Or are you gonna tell him to take that scholarship at Bama? You see what I'm saying?
You look at the track record.
Yep.
So it's
where
like
have they
you
been?
not-
Where have they been
Don't
going?
tell me that Dion need to, that he alive, and you ain't. Come on, man. Like either we gonna do it or we ain't. But you can't say it's cool for everybody else, but this kid, I got to do what I need to do for mine. Everybody doing what they need to do for theirs then.
And that's what Dion did, right?
You're absolutely right.
That's how I looked at it.
Now, and then they'll turn around and say, and that would be cool if he wouldn't have done all that preaching and carrying on.
People allowed to change their mind.
You mean the same preaching and carrying on you doing right now?
People allowed to change their mind.
And then when your little nephew get hot, you tell him to go to Texas
Yeah. Now people
or
like,
to A&M instead of TSU or PV.
you're allowed to change your mind also, bro. You may have felt
Yeah.
that way last year. You don't feel that way this year.
Well, I mean, to me though, that changing your mind bit is convenient when a whole bunch of money involved.
Yeah, because my
so
mind
I
gonna
won't
change
just,
too.
you know,
When
I
they
won't
coming
let
off
you
us this
just sell me
contract.
out, right? But I'm not gonna hold no another dude to a higher standard than I hold myself to.
Right.
That's my thing. If I'm not steering young athletes to HBCUs,
So
Man,
don't
I
expect
can't
the
be
coach to
looking
do
at
all the
you
work.
Yeah, man, I can't be looking at you like you wrong. When I talked to this one guy, he said, Los, HBCUs didn't even come after my guy because they didn't think they could get it.
Yeah.
Why would they waste their time?
That's exactly
Some people
how
do
he
that.
said that's what how he believes they felt because he said they didn't come calling.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay,
And I've seen
I guess I can.
I've known stories of that at powerhouse schools, so I know that happens at the HBC. I know he's telling the truth there, man.
And that's wild.
What about since they added the NIL?
My thoughts was that should change some stuff, right? But those schools are going to associate themselves with what has historically been the bigger names and the bigger talents,
bigger
right?
Names and probably,
Right.
The bigger
Because
names
these
who
NIL
can get
deals
more money, right?
ain't just them giving money away, right? This is an exchange. This is a sponsorship agreement.
Yeah, and
right?
And you know,
I'm giving you this money for you to do something for me.
And with that involved, man, some of them cats gonna still try to steer you a certain direction.
But I mean,
if they putting money behind you, man.
If you ain't reaching but
I bet
what 5,500 people at PV, versus 55,000 people at A&M, I'm gonna go over there. If I'm trying to sell a product here, I'm paying you, right, to advertise my product. That's what NIL deals are, basically, right? This is a sponsorship deal. I'm paying you to get other people to buy my stuff based on you representing it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go where the most people at.
Hey, you see the numbers he just said?
So,
you see the numbers he just said? Don't think they ain't sitting down with their young athlete and saying that.
Same thing.
Yeah, he say, so look, you gonna go over here to this HBCU where it's, 5,000 people that you could advertise our product to, or you have this opportunity to go over here to.
And we give you more money to advertise to more people.
Yeah,
like legit, bro. It's probably 60,000 people at A&M.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a city within the city. College Station is a city.
It's huge, man.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, you're not going to be able to.
You can't compete with that.
To make the comparison easy. So,
you're going to sell more.
It's got to be about passion.
You're going to sell more at one of them schools by accident.
Yeah.
Like legit.
Than you will at one of these small
like
schools.
Legit. Yeah. And that's messed up, but like legit.
Yeah.
So
and then the money's
basically made it worse.
So
we're gonna see because it's still fresh. It's still fairly new.
I think there's opportunities to make some adjustments in it, right?
And
I think certainly they'll make some adjustments. My fear is that those adjustments will benefit the establishment more than the players, as always.
Well, I'm gonna say that it's always been like that.
As always.
It's just now they're getting paid
you
a little
started, bit, and that's a little bit,
right?
And even then, that's only a small percentage of it.
Or what they're gonna make off of you. And like you say, you have to be a big name to even get an NIL deal.
And how does that fare with the rest of the squad, though?
But
you know what I mean? I'm on the team with this guy. How you gonna act? How you gonna act, man? We in college. You're a freshman. And you on a $3 million deal.
Yeah.
And I'm on a food plan. I'm on a motherfucking meal plan. Yeah. I got $11 a day to eat on. And you got $1 million deal. But I'm your roomie.
It causes
and me and you on the same team. I'm putting in the same work. I'm running the same drills.
Yeah.
I'm finna be feeling some kind of way.
Hey, look at
that cold.
If you that got this off potential, I might actually end up being better than you. You know,
real talk.
But
in my mind, I'm outshining you already.
I think everybody on the team gets paid. It's just the stars get paid more.
I don't think so.
I'm
gonna have to read up on that. I don't think so.
They gonna pay one guy and nobody else get.
Well, it ain't the school paying them. It's the spawn. It's the athletic companies.
This is like let's say.
Now see the school. Of course, school's gonna be sliding yourself at the table. And that's another reason.
Do they all?
That's another reason why you go to them big schools because of the big boosters and the big alumni.
Because I mean, like, what if I ain't shit?
You don't get nothing.
I ain't getting shit.
A free ride.
Right?
That's it. You get a free education.
If I'm even getting a free ride.
A new pair of shoes every other week. Because that's what the basketball team usually gets.
You know?
A lot of people don't know that. Like,
new pair every other week?
Dude, you be getting all kind of new shoes. See, the thing be though, especially like if you ain't hooping, you ain't getting no PT, you gonna just still rock them ones you got at the beginning of the season.
Right.
You gonna be sporting. Yeah, you gonna be sporting them other dude. Yeah, you get one of them Nike schools or something, man, and you a bit like Kentucky. Them cats get all kind of shit, man. Seriously.
Now, let me ask you this. Let's say, can they give that away? Or is that like a problem?
The thing used to be was you wasn't allowed to sell none of that.
Okay.
Now I don't know what's changed since then. Because at one point in time, dude, a scholarship athlete wasn't even allowed to have a job at one point in time.
This is the problem, and I've always thought about like how in the hell? Because I mean, what are you supposed to do if this cat ain't got no money? What are you supposed to do?
They can say, you know,
And then you wonder why.
Reggie Bush working for McDonald's, that shit ain't gonna work.
Right. What's your boy name in there? That was point shaving over there, man.
Not the Fab Five.
No, not them. This cat like it actually ended up getting jammed up. He was cold too. Him and his buddy, they had a roommate who was hooked up with some guy in Chicago, and they started.
My boys UNLV, huh?
Name. I don't think they was playing for UNLV.
Because I still say they threw that championship game. Go ahead.
This dude legit got
busted for point shaving.
Yeah, he got busted with it.
Yeah.
They had a documentary on Netflix about it. But he was just like, man, I'm poor. I got this little ragged ass Toyota that's smoking everywhere and barely running.
Yeah.
Me and my roommate literally sharing a soup. Because that's all we got. Because by the time we get off second shoot around, cafeteria closed.
That was right.
We starving. We've been running up and down this court. But everybody around this campus know me. I'm putting up 20 points a game. I'm shining. I'm blah. And this white dude comes to him and says, you don't have to do nothing but hoop. You ain't got to do nothing. And then one time he came to him and said, look, all I need you to do is lay off. It's an understood that we ain't going to never ask you to lose a game.
I need you to keep it under the point spread.
We ain't gonna never ask you to, that's what he say the guy told him. We'll never ask you to throw a game. All we asking you to do is to lay off your fourth quarter scoring a little bit. Just kind of hold on to the ball a little bit. Lay off your fourth quarter score. Well, they win it. They came back and they kicked him a bunch of money. So, of course, he immediately went and he put some fixed his car up, got some music in there, got some jewelry, and all because he's 19, 20 years old, right?
He doing what he's supposed to do.
People started looking at him and saying, damn, this cat balling out, right? And they did it, and what ended up happening is they didn't meet the spread on one of them games.
Yeah.
And it all went up in smoke, but it's like, what the hell was he supposed to do? And you the star, right? You the guy. And you hungry? Like that don't even seem right.
You remember that story with the Fab Five with Chris Webber?
Right?
He say, he going to McDonald's. They got several people with number 4 jerseys on. He said Foot Locker was at them black Nikes they wore their sophomore year. Still cold. I want a pair still to this day. He said Foot Locker was advertising them as Fab Five Nikes. They don't have no contract, no deal, no nothing with them, right?
This nigga.
Chris Webber said he goes into McDonald's. It's in the. I remember I got the book, the Fab Five book. He orders his food. He has to put something back because he ain't got enough to cover his own tab, man. And he said several people walking in and out of there with number 4 Michigan.
Right, like think about that, man.
Yeah.
That's hard. That's hard.
For real, like you know,
Yeah.
man, they should have been fixed that.
See, that's why
you know, but it say something about how.
And that's why I used to have an issue with how he did his business. But as you get older, you understand why he did his business that way. Coach K, when they said he recruited a certain type of player, so he didn't want their controversies around it at Duke, man. Because they said he only went after the middle class.
Yeah, he don't want nobody that's gonna be hungry.
He don't want nobody starving who's subject to temptation, bro. I thought that was horrible back in the gap, but you get older, you're like, I get it. I get it, man.
But I still, I still think it's horrible though. Because this coming from a dude who actually could have affected change though. What guys like him should have been doing instead of saying I'm not.
Should have been pushing for that other stuff.
Yeah. He should have been getting with them other coaches in his conferences saying, man, we need to change the way this shit works.
Yeah, he should have been pushing for the money and shit, man.
Right.
Yeah.
We need to change the way this shit works.
And you know what? Somebody like him stepping up and saying something and making noise.
It would have mattered.
Yeah, somebody like him making noise. But
I get it. Cats like Bob Knight, those kind of guys.
They've been trying to get players paid, but them white folks at the top sitting in them chairs over NCAA.
Oh, bro, they was
They
hard.
ain't finna give up no
They was
money. They
hard.
making billions of dollars.
And they ain't having to give out nothing, man.
They ain't gotta give shit up.
Ain't hardly giving out
Billions,
nothing,
bro.
man.
Billions.
Because 99% of college stadiums, right, and Power 5 schools at the larger schools, got more seats than pro stadiums.
Yeah, 100,000 seats. They got 100,000 seat stadiums
Sold out.
and be sold out for the season.
Sold out.
Yeah.
6-7 games. Sold out. 100,000.
All those
Boom.
teams. Now you know you got what it is, 32 teams in the NFL.
Is it that many?
Yeah,
Okay.
32 teams in the NFL. Roger Goodell, commissioner. You know the big wigs. Now you got NCAA, college football.
It's over 300 D1s, huh?
I was going to say hundreds.
It's
How
like
many?
301s D1s.
And you
300.
got that
Just Division 1.
under an umbrella with somebody at the top or some heads at the top.
Yeah.
Come on now, man.
Yeah,
And even with and like I said,
said,
even with these kids getting paid, it still ain't NCAA money.
No,
that money's coming from elsewhere.
Yeah.
no.
The merchandise and all of that stuff they've been
Like, how
selling,
can you
they
be
get
that
the
greedy,
money
bro?
out. They still get the money out of it.
Because it's been working for
Because
years.
it's
Been
crazy.
working for
Because
years.
like legit, when you go to College Station, now I ain't gonna even use them because that's my wife's alma mater, and I don't be liking to dog them out. But I went to Tuscaloosa,
Okay.
right? One of my groups had a project over there. I went to Tuscaloosa. First thing I'll say, shout out to Tuscaloosa, Alabama. They had a smoking room. I got a hotel over there, and they had a smoking room. And I was like, wait, what?
Inside the hotel?
Dude said you want smoking and dog smoking.
When the last time you seen one of them?
It had been a minute, and I ain't seen one since. Dude said you want smoking or non-smoking. I say
Excuse me?
smoking, cause I'm thinking, okay, they just used to asking that, right? I get in that room and it's an ashtray on the bedside table. I say, ooh, the folks got a smoke. I was in there blowing like a.
You know how uncommon that is?
That
Hold on, let me tell you how uncommon that is in 2023. How many people you know still smoke in their house?
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Shout out to Tuscaloosa.
It's rare.
Them boys have
I'm sure that
smoking
people
room,
out
right?
there, but it's rare.
You know,
It's a generation come up and realize that they didn't know they used to smoke in the White House.
straight up.
It's a generation coming right now.
Yeah,
like,
they
I
have
used
no
to smoke in the
idea.
White-
Fam.
I used to smoke in the White House,
Heavy.
man.
They used to be heavy.
They used to smoke in the Central Mall.
All day.
I'm old enough to remember that.
Yeah.
Shit, they were still smoking in Central Mall when I got out the penitentiary.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
1996.
I still, like I said, I still remember, like I say,
I'm
going to restaurants and they say you want
talking-
smoking or non-smoking
Yeah,
section.
man, yeah. I'm in Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Yeah.
This was 2000.
We were smoking in my last apartments, huh?
2016.
We smoking in the last apartments.
2016, I got a smoking room. But man, they had Bear Bryant Bank, Bear Bryant this, Bear Bryant that, Bear Bryant.
He's godlike, huh?
Everywhere that I went, they had Alabama gear.
He's godlike.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
And these guys, like, they got everywhere, bro.
Yeah.
These people making money everywhere. And y'all not gonna do nothing for these kids, but quote unquote give them a free education.
Say, fam, a $500 stipend a month would not hurt.
Yeah, man, you get that.
A $1,000 stipend a
You
month.
know what they say we giving them free room and board.
Mm-hmm. And education.
You know what that sound like, bro? It sounded like what the governor of Florida say slavery was like. It was beneficial to us because it taught us crafts and skills that we would not have had.
He really made that
otherwise.
statement, fam?
He made that statement. He said that.
And I'm gonna tell you something like this here. I'm gonna tell you, and this
Say
this
that.
is what I'm gonna tell you. And if he get reelected, that really tell you how everybody feels.
He said that.
That really tell you how everybody feels. If he gets reelected, bro, that says a lot about his constituents.
Because I'm going to say this. And I'm going to say this to you.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you was close to the situation. You watched that woman get on the internet and tell everybody that the kind of people who celebrate Juneteenth don't be voting.
Yeah.
And they elected her ass
They elected
anyway.
anyway.
And they elected her anyway.
So Don't be surprised.
Yeah, but and then like I said,
But
they,
here-
You know what I
they
mean?
let you know
They elected her ass anyway.
No,
because people always say that that type of behavior is a thing of the past, and it lets you know that it is.
Here's the
You know what I
Here's
mean?
the thing with that. When she said that, and I went around the voting place when it was time to vote,
Yeah.
she was fucking right.
Yeah, because I mean, did you look at the numbers?
She was fucking
That
right.
did it.
Did you look at the numbers?
She said
I
that shit.
seen the polls.
Yeah.
No one's there.
Because look, I'm gonna tell you, man,
She
the
said that
final
shit.
results on that runoff, I don't think it was 300 total.
Get the fuck out
I
of
don't
here.
think it
She
was
was
3.
right.
Or let me take that back.
She was right.
Let me take that back. Let me take that back.
We got over 50,000 in Port Arthur alone.
If it was over 300, it wasn't 400, and that's a fact. It wasn't 400, but it was about 300, man. About 300 people total vote on that runoff. Total.
She was right.
She was right.
My apologies, Miss Beck.
That's the crazy part.
Yeah. It's about, I got the number somewhere in my phone.
Like, bro, how the fuck?
Yeah.
How the fuck you see this lady? How she said what she said?
If
how
that
she said
if
it,
that didn't energize you to get out there
and
and
you
go
didn't
vote,
go out there and do it. Like,
nothing
come on,
will.
man.
Nothing will.
I
And-
couldn't go vote because I was out the residence, but nigga, I wanted to
Yeah.
give me a
real.
hoodie and some glasses on.
That- yeah.
Inconspicuous,
I
you know what I'm
couldn't
saying?
vote either. That wasn't my district.
That wasn't
But
my
I know
district.
it's more than 300 people in that
Bro,
district.
come on now. Yeah, that's nothing but
Man,
black
man.
folks.
Come on, man.
That's nothing but black
Port
folks.
Arthur.
It's Port Arthur.
It's a
And you
predominantly
mean
black
to tell
city.
me, not you say it wasn't even close to 300?
It was a little over 3
Little over 300? Or little over 300
In the
people?
runoff, bro.
in the runoff, man.
Get the fuck out of here.
I mean, that's your time to say, okay, you know what? I missed the first
I
election.
missed it.
Let
I'm
me
finna
go.
go get it.
Yeah.
And I got some firepower. You know what I'm saying? To go energize me to go get it and put this woman up in office that we want, that we need.
Hey, I need to take
But
a
them
break on
motherfuckers,
that note.
yeah, man, that shit done got me high.
So-
I didn't even know that. I ain't know it was just 300. I knew when I went to go look at the polls,
Yeah.
no one was there.
Yeah, you know, I got the, man, when we take our break, I could probably pull up the official numbers, man. It was really, my heart, it hurt my heart. It hurt my heart for real, man. Because like you say, I had skin in the game now. You know what I mean?
Turned out abysmal. Man, let me tell you
I
something.
had skin in the game, and it hurt.
I tried to have this conversation with somebody. They was telling me, man, you vote shit. I say, man, if your vote didn't matter, they wouldn't take it from you.
Mm-hmm.
Why would they take something from you that didn't count?
And
If it
these,
didn't matter, they wouldn't take it from you. Them people took the right to vote from me for years.
Yeah.
And then I say they took it from me. I gave it away,
yeah,
right? By committing a criminal offense. I could not wait to exercise my civic duty the moment I was able to.
oh yeah,
I'm getting in that booth, man.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So if you have the ability to get in the booth and don't,
Mm.
dude.
And
come
this
on.
and the election kind of election we were just talking about. I'm talking hyper local. We're not just talking about state. I'm talking hyper local. Your district, your city.
Yeah.
Those are the most important, bro.
Absolute direct impact on how you
Yes,
live
those
on a
are
daily
the
basis,
most
bro.
because these is people you can actually reach out and
You know?
touch, fam.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying?
Dude, I had a conversation with a Port Arthur policeman shortly before I moved away from Port Arthur. And the guy said, look, man, you can't be parking your truck on the grass like that. You got to put some rock or some gravel or something there. You got to pave that or something, man. But we got a new city ordinance that says you can't be parking on the grass. I said, on my property? He said, yeah. I said, do you know whose idea that was? He said, no, I do not, but it's city ordinance that you got to either pave it, gravel it, dirt it, or something, but you can't be parking on the grass at your house.
Yeah.
So I reached out to my councilman at the time. Look out, player. Whose idea was this?
Mm-hmm.
Who decided they was going to tell me how to do my business at my house? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Well, and such and such brought it up because they felt like it was an eyesore. They felt like it was an eyesore. Okay? Ain't no way the number of people I heard complaining about that that lady should ever have been reelected, but she was. And it's just like, dude,
Voter apathy.
if you ain't gonna vote, why are you complaining?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean,
Yeah, you
you
lost
ain't
your
even-
right to complain.
you ain't even asking them to kiss you afterwards, man.
Yeah.
You know, they come on,
Yeah,
man.
you ain't asked them to leave the $40 on the
It's
nightstand.
crazy, bro. That was insane to me.
Yeah.
I was like, for real?
Bro,
I thought dude was just picking with me or something. He was like, nah, for real, man. Okay.
there's 300 people in Griffin Park in the Bronx.
Alone. Hey man, I mapped out that district that it was. I actually had the map and I mapped that out, and that was a pretty vast area.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Did not know inside Port Arthur where the houses spaced out and FEMA fucked some shit up
No.
and tore down some houses. No, we talking about an area where houses are still homes.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of apartments.
few thousand people, man.
Like,
Couple
come on,
thousand.
man.
But
I
they
guarantee.
won't come outside for nothing but bullshit.
Couple
Nothing
thousand,
but
man.
bullshit.
I guarantee, man. Because what are we a city of now? 55.
I thought it was like 54.
Okay.
That
It's,
might be the last census bit. I would wager it's probably a little lower than that. Seems
Yeah.
like every time they have a hurricane in the area, Port Arthur lose people.
They
and
do.
don't get back.
Yeah.
But I guarantee, man. I don't know if I'm gonna go. Hey man, 3, 4, 5,000 people in the district or something like that, man. Maybe.
So roughly a 10% turnout.
They don't
Ooh.
care, bro.
Because how many
When
districts
probably
is it?
40% are eligible.
Yeah.
Man, oh man.
Yeah, it should have been a few thousand people voted for that runoff.
Bro, I went.
Everybody
to,
exercised that
I
right.
went over the. I went by the spots that was voting. I went by the public library.
Yeah, that's where I went.
And I'm sitting in the parking lot.
I just went to go support the candidate I was supporting. Shout out to my mama. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
and I'm watching everybody out there. All the people promoting, and as the people come by, nobody is here, man.
No, it was pretty bad. It was pretty abysmal. Yeah.
That lady was right there.
Yeah, what she said, and she said it in hate. But
And she
I
said
can't
in
tell
hate
her.
and
that
in
was her truth.
ignorance.
It was truth.
She said it in hate and
I
in
can't-
ignorance.
I can't tell her what-
It's not a federal holiday.
what
That's
she
just a
said.
state holiday. No, it actually
And
is
it actually
a
is a federal
It
holiday.
actually is.
Yeah. She
Like
just
Biden
was a
made it
little
a federal
behind on the
holiday,
time.
what, 2017?
But did you
No,
recognize her
21.
privilege?
21?
Yeah,
Did you
21.
recognize her privilege? Because she wouldn't sit there and say, "Oh, my bad, I was wrong."
No, why would she?
Right.
She doesn't have to.
Right.
I even went to the comments to see if
You know?
she was going to correct herself. She didn't.
She did.
Yeah. She don't have to, because why?
Right.
And we ain't obviously not going out and standing on what we be saying.
No.
We just, keyboard warrior.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Because it's like, that was crazy to me. When I saw that she won the runoff, I was like, whoa. Okay. Because I saw the video because it was shared by someone. And I was like, hey, this lady's,
Yeah.
she's wrong.
The video got shared that
She
original.
just don't really, she behind a little bit, right? She ain't checked the law.
No.
And I think it's really presumptuous of her to assume, because clearly you're talking about black people when you
Mhm.
say the type of people that's going to celebrate this,
And that blew my mind.
right? Y'all cool with that?
Obviously they were.
Obviously.
Obviously they were. So man, I think man, they were all the topics we done covered for the day, Los. I think, man, we need to go ahead and wrap this up. We say we can come to the end of the segment, man.
I ain't tripping, man. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? We
Yeah.
give them a little something, make sure they got a little taste in their mouth so we can come back
You
at them.
gotta give them a reason to come
Yeah.
back. Got to. That's mandatory. So man, with that being said, Los, you got any shout outs?
Man, look here. I do. As a matter of fact, I got some shout outs, man. Shout out to the Lincoln High School class of 1991, man. We trying to do our little thing. We getting up in age, but we trying to keep it player. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Rum T and them and Bumblebee Catering out there, man.
Yeah, go support
Keep
that.
slanging them lanks and them bones and them Cajun bowls and things like that, man. Do your thing. Shout out to the whole world and everybody in it, man.
Ain't no
Look
doubt.
here, man. These is trying times. You know what I'm saying? So, how about we try to do a little bit more loving on each other?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, man, shout out to all my NC people up in Newcastle, man, all the original triple beamers, man. Second generation, third generation triple beamers, man. You know, Bodine notices you. Uh, man, all my PA people, man, all, my prime time folks, you know what I'm saying, man, and how we do our business, man. Yeah, man, I just thank y'all for y'all support, man. I hope y'all continue to do so, you know. And with that being said, man, we're going to go ahead and fade to black, baby.
Yeah, we'll be back.
No doubt.